గురువులు నానక్ సింగ్ నస్కర్ గారు, అంతర్జాతీయ సిక్ ఫోరం అధ్యక్షులు, వారిని ప్రసంగించవలసిందిగా కోరుతూ గురు గ్రంథ్ సాహిబ్ వెలుగులో మానవ సౌభ్రాతృత్వం, సోదరభావం అనే విషయంపై వారు మాట్లాడుతారు.
मोहतरम सदर साहब, शनशीब तशीफरों, लोगों, भाई और बहनों, किस्मत की अजीब सितम ज़रीफ़ी है कि 12 बजे मुझे बुलाया गया आपसे बात करने के लिए। अब आप ये देखिए कि उसका कुछ पे क्या असर होता है, क्या असर नहीं होता, ये आपके हाथ में। दोस्तों, मैं आपका ज़्यादा वक्त नहीं लूँगा, जो उन्वान है मैं उसी पे बात करने की कोशिश करूँगा। कम्युनलिज्म और करप्शन, इसमें जो स्क्रिप्चर्स दिए हुए उसमें गुरु ग्रंथ साहब का नाम तो नहीं है, लेकिन मुझे बुलाया गया है, मैं और आया हूँ और बोलूँगा उसके बारे में। मैं पहले आपको एक बात बताऊँ कि मज़हब वजूद में आया क्यों। इंसान जब इंसानियत छोड़कर दरिंदगी की तरफ मायल हो गया था, वैश्यपन आ गया था उसमें, तो अल्लाह ताला ने अपने पैगम्बरों को भेजाया ताकि इंसानियत का दर्ज दे सके, लोगों को सही रास्ते पर चला सके। दुनिया के मुख्तलिफ ममालिक में अल्लाह ताला की तरफ से भेजा गए लोग आए, अपनी अपनी मुकामी ज़बानों में उन्होंने कहा, दीन, धर्म, मज़हब, ये थोड़ा बहुत हम फ़र्क कर लेते हैं, लेकिन दुनिया सबकी एक ही है कि वो इंसान को इंसान बनाना चाहते हैं और कुछ भी नहीं। किसी भी मज़हब की बुनियाद यही है कि वो सही इंसानियत के रास्ते पर चलाना चाहते हैं। दोस्तों, आज जो करप्शन और कम्युनलिज्म की बात है, ये फौजदारी मसला है, पुलिस वालों का मसला है, अदालतों का मसला है, हमारा मसला नहीं है। लेकिन ये ज़रूर है, इसकी बुनियाद आपके हमारे सीनों में है, आपके हमारे समाज में। हमारी मज़हब से दूरी, अपनी मज़हबी किताबों से दूरी, अपने मज़हबी किताबों को पढ़ना, समझना, उस पर अमल करने से बचने की कोशिश, ये है बुनियाद कम्युनलिज्म और करप्शन की, जो हम भुट्टियों में डाल रहे हैं अपने बच्चों को। कम्युनलिज्म और करप्शन ये सज़ाओं से या लॉ एंड ऑर्डर से ख़त्म होने वाली चीज़ नहीं है। ये ख़त्म होने वाली चीज़ है जबकि हर हिंदू वेदों को पढ़े, अपने ज़िंदगी में उतारने की कोशिश करे, हर मुसलमान कुरान शरीफ पढ़े, जाके समाज में तब्दीली आएगी। वो समाज में तब्दीली आने वाली नहीं है। चाहे कितनी भी कड़ी से कड़ी सजाएं लें, आप रोज़ाना अखबार में देखते हैं क्या क्या हालत तमाशे हो रहे हैं आजकल, लेकिन इन सब की बुनियाद ये है कि हमारा मुल्क आज़ाद होने के बाद से जब हुकूमत को सेक्युलर होना चाहिए था, अवाम सेक्युलर हो गए, मज़हब को छोड़ दिया उन्होंने, और सरकार माफ़ करना सेक्युलर बाकी दे रही, एक बड़ी दुखदायक बात है, बड़ी तकलीफ की बात है। और इन सब के जिम्मेदार आप हमें, जैसे अभी स्वामी जी ने कहा, समाज की बुराइयों के जिम्मेदार वो लोग नहीं हैं जो बुरे हैं। ये तो बहुत कम है, गिनती के चंद उंगलियों पे गिने जा सकते हैं। समाज की बुराइयों के जिम्मेदार वो हैं जो समझते हैं कि ये चीज़ बुरी है, लेकिन बोलने के लिए कतराते हैं। गुरु ग्रंथ साहब जी का स्पष्ट फैसला है, चंगियाई आलत करे, बुरियाई होश है। अगर अच्छाई अगर आलस करती है तो बुराई शेर होती है। बुराई शेर के जिम्मेदार बुरे लोग नहीं हैं, माफ करना, अच्छे में शरीक होने की दावत देने की बात नहीं है। मैं चाहता ये हूँ, जो गुरु ग्रंथ साहब का दरस है, गुरु ग्रंथ साहब में वो एक सिखों का ग्रंथ नहीं है, माफ करना, आमतौर पर गलतफहमी है, एक डाइजेस्ट है वो, जिसमें 36 लोगों का कलाम है, जिसमें 6 सिख गुरु हैं, 7 मुसलमान हैं दो अछूत हैं और बाकी हिंदुओं के मुख्तलिफ तबकों से। और इस देश की तकरीबन सारी ज़बानों में के अहम बोलचाल की ज़बानों में है वो। ये इतना खूबसूरत संदेश देता है कि सारे मज़ाहब की बुनियाद एक ही है, मुख्तलिफ ज़बानों में बोली जाए, मुख्तलिफ मुकामात पे बोली जाए, मुख्तलिफ लोगों से बोली जाए या मुख्तलिफ धर्मों से बोली जाए, दीन तो सबकी बुनियाद एक ही है। इसीलिए एक जगह जमा किया गया गुरु साहब। लेकिन मुश्किल ये है, अगर मैं सिख होकर किसी दूसरे को मेरी मजहबी किताब पढ़ने के लिए बोलूँ तो गलत बात है। मेरा काम है ये बोलना, अगर मुसलमान है तो बेटा तो आप कुरान शरीफ पढ़ो, अल्लाह ताला के क्या अहकामात हैं समझो। जैसे गुरु ग्रंथ साहब में मुसलमान को अच्छा मुसलमान बनने के लिए, एक हिंदू को अच्छा हिंदू बनने के लिए, एक सिख को अच्छा इंसान बनने के लिए तालिबान दिए हैं, ये मेरा लक्ष्य है। सुनना चाहिए। सिखिज्म कोई मज़हब नहीं है। ये और बात है कि मज़हब का टॉप हमारे गले में डाल दिया गया है। नहीं नहीं जी बोला आपकी मज़हब, आपका मज़हब है। अरे भाई हमारा मज़हब है नहीं, हम मज़हब के नाम से हम दूसरे मानों में हम कोई निस्बत नहीं रखते, हम सिर्फ इंसानियत से निस्बत रखते हैं। अगर हमारे अपने यहाँ कोई मज़हब होता तो हमारी मज़हबी किताब में हमारे गुरुओं का कलाम होता था, हिंदुओं मुसलमानों हर हिंदू का उसका कलाम नहीं होता। इंसानियत के मानने वाले हमें चाहते हैं कि इंसानियत पैदा हो। और मज़हब के नाम से नफरत जो है वो इसलिए है कि मज़हब को लोगों ने इस्तेमाल किया है, उसका इस्तेमाल किया है। चूँकि आप मज़हब से लायक हैं, लोगों ने मज़हब को इस्तेमाल करने के लिए आपको इस्तेमाल किया और मज़हब को इस्तेमाल किया। उनको मज़हब से कोई लेना देना नहीं, माफ़ करना। वो तो अपना हलवे मारने की फिक्र में जैसे चाहते हैं आपको बहकाते हैं। और वो हर मज़हब के आगों की हालत हुई है। मैं खाली एक हिंदुओं की, सिखों की, मुसलमानों की, क्रिश्चियन की बात नहीं कर रहा हूँ। सारे के सारे मज़हब के जिनके आप ये समझते हैं कि मज़हब के बारे में आपको समझाएंगे, वो सब आपको मज़हब के नाम पर बहकाने वाले हैं। मज़हब के नाम में अगर कोई समझा सकता है, आपको चला सकता है, तो वो सिर्फ आपकी अपनी मज़हबी किताब ही। ठीक है, आपको समझ में नहीं आती होगी, अरबी होगी, संस्कृत में होगी या और दूसरी ज़बानों में होगी, लेकिन उसकी तशरीहात आप कर सकते हैं। एक से दो से चाहिए, ये जब समझेंगे आप तो मैं समझता हूँ सही मानों में हिंदू बनेंगे, मुसलमान बनेंगे, सिख बनेंगे और सही इंसान बनेंगे। सब मज़हब का बुनियाद ही ये है कि उसको अच्छा इंसान बनाना है। माफ़ करना, हम अगर ऊपर जाएंगे तो ये कोई हमको ये नहीं कहेगा कि भाई आप मुसलमान हैं तो जन्नत में जाओ और हिंदू है तो दूसरा बन जाओ, ये कोई बोलने वाला नहीं। अगर कोई ऐसा समझता है, इसी तबलीग करता है, तो मैं समझता हूँ वो ज़्यादा सही है। हमारे अपने आमाल पर रखे जाएंगे, हमारे मज़हब के बुनियाद पर हम जन्नत या दोज़ख में नहीं जाएंगे, हम अपने आमाल के बुनियाद पर अच्छे या बुरे बन जाएंगे, अच्छे या बुरे उसके तहत चल जाएंगे। तो इस बात से दोस्तों मेरी आपसे गुजारिश ये है, उनका जो काम है वो अहले सियासत जाने, मेरा पैगाम मोहब्बत है जहाँ तक। दोस्तों मोहब्बत करो, मोहब्बत बांटो, तब कहीं जाके मोहब्बत पैदा होगी। ये देश, ये समाज है। सिख और मुसलमानों ने इस मुल्क को अपने इख्तियार तमीज़ी से अपना मुल्क चुना है, जबकि हिंदू इस मुल्क के वासी थे। हिंदुस्तान मिला, उन्होंने उनको मुबारक, उन्होंने साथ ही हमको हिंदुओं, मुसलमान, सिखों को मुसलमानों बनते हैं। अल्लाह ताला उनको तौफीक अता करे कि हम सबको साथ लेके चलें। शुक्रिया।
ఇప్పుడు మన ముందు ప్రొఫెసర్ డాక్టర్ ఫైజాన్ ముస్తఫా గారు, వైస్ ఛాన్సలర్ నల్సార్ యూనివర్సిటీ, వారు ప్రసంగిస్తారు. The president of this seminar, the organizers, Musliuddin Sahab, Shah Syed and Sahab, the honored guests on the dais and off the dais. It's very difficult to speak after the third highly emotional discourse
from the experts of religion and someone who comes from academia and has very little understanding of religion to follow the suit of such eminent speakers is quite a difficult task. Therefore, when you are in difficulty, rely on poetry rather than the prose. बड़े शौक से मेरे घर जला, कोई आँच तुझ पे ना आई। बड़े शौक से मेरे घर जला, कोई आँच तुझ पे ना आएगी। ये ज़बान किसी ने खरीद ली, ये कलम किसी का गुलाम है। यहाँ एक बच्चे के खून से जो लिखा हुआ है उसे पढ़ें। यहाँ एक बच्चे के खून से जो लिखा हुआ है उसे पढ़ें। अभी कीर्तन तेरा पाप है, अभी मेरा सजदा हराम है। मैं ये मानता हूँ मेरे दिए तेरी आंधियों ने बुझा दिए। मैं ये मानता हूँ मेरे दिए तेरी आंधियों ने बुझा दिए, मगर एक जुगनू हवाओं में अभी रोशनी का इमाम है। और ये जो जुगनू है जिसको मैंने रेफर किया, दिस इज द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ऑफ इंडिया। Therefore, the topic which has been given to me is to talk of rights of minorities under Indian Constitution. But I think if I don't say anything about religions and communalism, I will not be able to contextualize the rights of minorities under our Constitution. And I will do little disservice to myself if I don't share two stories with you in the context of the speeches which have been made by my learned predecessors. Last month I was in China. The stories are about China and Japan, two East Asian countries. So I had gone there to speak on comparative constitutionalism, and an assistant professor had come to receive me. The driver, taxi driver, asked this girl, "Your guest is from India?" She said yes. Then this taxi driver asked this girl to translate for me why in India they have very few Buddhists. If this country is the birthplace of Buddha, and if Buddhism has originated from this country, why you have so many Buddhists in Thailand and in Burma and Sri Lanka, in North Korea, South Korea, in China, and not in India? And believe me, I had no answer, except that I know in the heart of my heart that there has been a persecution of Buddhists. That's why Hans Kung has said, there shall be no lasting peace in the world unless there is peace between and within religions. And within religions is important. The 100 Years War, the 30 Years War, the First World War, the Second World War has been only amongst Christians. Shias and Sunni killing each other in Pakistan in the mosque. It is within religions. Therefore, it is not that you need peace between religions, but within religions. The other story relates to my visit to Japan, and Japanese are also Buddhist. And I have picked up example from Buddhism because I don't see the representation of Buddhism on this dais. We heard from the scriptures of 3 other religions. Major religions. Okay. No, but Buddhism should also be a major religion. At least if it is not in India, it is in the world. You have many Buddhist countries. Japan, after Second World War, after you had that Hiroshima, Nagasaki, atom bombs devastation, rose from ashes and emerged as an economic power. Of course, they are not doing that greatly today. Post 1997, their economy is not that great, but still they are a very, very big economy. And all Japanese are also Buddhists. जापान में भी बुद्धिज्म को ही माना जाता है। तो जो हिंदुस्तान से लोग जाते हैं क्योंकि वो बुद्धा के मुल्क के हैं, उनकी जापानीज बड़ी इज्जत करते हैं, बड़ा एहतराम करते हैं, रिस्पेक्ट करते हैं। तो I asked a 6-year-old child, what is your religion? And this small child said, Buddhism. He could speak a little bit English. And I said, who is your God? Even though Buddha never said that he is a God, but that's how the Buddhists take it today. So he said, Buddha. And I said, how much you love Buddha? Oh, very much, sir, very much. Then I put him to a question which, if I put to you, you will not be able to give the answer which this 6-year-old child is able to give. I asked him, what will you do if Buddha attacks Japan? And 6-year-old child replied, I will kill Buddha. When nations develop and they become superpower, they become with this kind of people. When religion is relegated to a secondary position. And why therefore I have picked up and I have been given a theme as a student of law, Constitution, because we say now Constitution is our religion. And this Constitution about which I am talking, it was drafted at a very difficult time. The country had been divided, unfortunately, in the name of religion. Without understanding, nations are not made on the basis of religion. And the creation of Bangladesh has proved the fallacy of the two-nation theory. And you have so many Muslim countries, and so many Christian countries, and so many Buddhist countries also proves religion doesn't create a nation in the first place. When this country had been divided in the name of religion, as Nashta Sahab rightly said, of course Muslims and Sikhs voluntarily, out of their free choice, opted and decided that this is our country. 90% of people who live in Pakistan are their original habitants. They have not gone from India. They were living from there for centuries. Very small fraction of Muslim population migrated to Pakistan. And therefore the Muslims who live in India, Nashta Sahab is right, they are here as a matter of choice. And they are here because India's diversity management is the best diversity management in the world. The American diversity management is called the melting pot theory. The distinctive identities of people are to be melted in an American identity. A new identity is to be created. The Indian diversity management is referred as a salad bowl theory, where distinctive identities of all groups have been retained, are celebrated, and are preserved. And that's why the idea of India is diversity. The idea of India is not assimilation. The idea of India is integration. So you will continue to retain your distinctive dresses, your distinctive religions, your distinctive languages, your distinctive lifestyles, yet you will be one. That's why we don't have unity as such. We have unity within diversity. And this diversity management which Indian Constitution makes, allow me to make this assertion, having spent time at the minority institution in Italy, which studies minority constitutions of almost all the countries in the world. I have myself, have studied the constitution of more than about 135 constitutions of the world. I say no other constitution in the world gives the rights to the minorities which minorities have in India. And in the Constituent Assembly, we got this right because India opted for progress and modernity and did not opt for religiosity. In fact, in the Indian Constituent Assembly, many constitutions in the preamble start in the name of God. So when the preamble of Indian Constitution was being drafted, there were people who suggested, let us start it in the name of God, the Almighty. The saner elements in the Constituent Assembly said, don't do it, don't bring God. But as soon as this suggestion came, people from West Bengal started shouting, no, God, Goddess. And there was a huge debate whether you will have God or you will have Goddess. People tried to persuade, withdraw this amendment. It was not withdrawn. And God was put to vote in the Indian Constituent Assembly and God lost. It was by a vote that God's reference to the Constitution in the Indian Constitution was removed. Similarly, of course, Gandhiji's reference was also removed. People wanted to thank Father of Nation and it was by vote decided not to refer to anybody in the preamble. Therefore, the constitutions which give prominence to religion are not progressive. And the constitutions which give prominence to modern ideas of equality and liberty and fraternity and justice, social, economic and political, democracy and republicanism, they are progressive. And this constitution is the new modern religion of all Indians as the supreme law of land. Now, very interestingly, word minority has been used in the constitution at 4 places. But there is no definition. There is no definition given. But the Supreme Court of India, in a series of cases, has held anyone who is less than 50% is a minority. And minorities, Indian Constitution does not talk of in terms of narrow sectarian religious angle. It says minorities whether based on religion or language. And allow me to say that each Indian at one or another point of time is a minority. So I am a minority here coming from north because I speak Hindi, you speak Telugu. If I want to set up a Hindi speaking or Urdu speaking school, it will be a minority school. Or if I want to set up a Sindhi medium school, it will be a minority school. So there is no communalism in the minority rights. I think the whole argument of the extreme right that Article 29 and 30 should be deleted. In fact, there was a committee appointed, headed by K.R. Malkani by BJP, that these 2 articles should be deleted, even though Supreme Court has held them to be the basic structure. Where is the appeasement? Article 29, even though it talks of, in the heading, protection of interest of the minorities, in the text word minority is not. It says any section of Indian citizens, having the distinct language, script or culture shall have the right to conserve the same. country where minorities have been given the right to establish and administer educational institutions of their choice, this is the right which has been given to religious minorities as well as linguistic minorities. Therefore, again, there is no communal angle to it. There is no appeasement of minorities in it. Now, why you need different institutions for minorities? This was a huge debate. Once you have Article 14 and there is an equality, protection of law and equality before law, and you have 19 giving you, number of rights, a charter of liberty, why you need special rights? And minorities should not feel that word minority is a taboo. It is not a taboo. This is a constitutional recognition of my numerical inferiority. It is a constitutional recognition of my powerlessness in the power structure of the state. Because individual rights at times may not be enough. So right to equality or freedom of speech or right to life or freedom of religion are individualistic rights. As Professor Mustafa, I have never faced any discrimination in my life. I have not come across any discrimination from any institution. So as an individual, I have no grievance at all. But I have a grievance if Muslims are, as a community, criticized. If Muslims are treated badly as a community, or they are, say, considered to be terrorists, or they are considered to be dirty, or they are considered to be unpatriotic, or they are considered to be problematic. Therefore, if my community is ridiculed, if my community is subject of criticism, that hurts me. And therefore, in the theory of human rights, it is said at times individual rights are not enough. There are rights which I wish to exercise in association with my fellow community members. And therefore, you need to give me a right which will not ridicule the community as a whole. Even though I am personally okay, I enjoy my life very well. I interact with the best of and the highest judges of Supreme Court and High Court. It is my second innings as a Vice Chancellor. I have no grievance. And therefore the framers of Indian Constitution, having described and given you the rights as citizen, whatever right is available to any other citizen is also available to minorities, have given additional protection, have given additional rights. And what is this additional right? Preserve your culture. Therefore, if you want to have halim and biryani, have it. If that is your culture. If your culture is in a Muharram to have a procession and a majlis and a marsiya, have it. Not individually, but collectively, with a group. So this is the debate between universality of individual rights, but then individual rights are not enough, therefore group rights. Then why this right to establish educational institutions? I will invite the attention of my lord here. Very crucial point. Because of Article 28, religious instruction cannot be given in an educational institution which is either state aided or state recognized. Because of Article 28. स्कूलों में मजहबी तालीम नहीं दी जा सकती अगर वो स्कूल सरकार से कोई एड रिसीव करता है या वो स्टेट से रिकॉग्नाइज है. It was documented through number of reports, even before independence, way back in 1886 and 1901 and 1913, in number of education policies, that Muslims are educationally backward because Muslims are not sending their children to state institutions. Because they think कि उनका मजहब बदल देंगे ईसाई मिशनरीज के जो स्कूल्स थे ब्रिटिश पीरियड में. And in the state recognized and state aided institutions, you cannot give religious institution. Therefore, Article 30, that minorities can establish and administer educational institutions of their choice, and in minority institutions they can give religious institutions. And since in minority institutions 50% seats are available to non-minorities, where is communalism? Where is the appeasement? I think as a citizen of this country, now under Article 21A, each of us have a right to education as a citizen. When minorities set up their educational institutions, they invest their resources. They raise money for it. They raise contribution for it. When Aligarh Muslim University was established, the then British government said, raise 30 lakhs reserve fund. And it has been calculated, by today's conversion, it comes to around 268 crores. That was about 10 years ago.